How do you consider the state of your health mindset? Your thinking about your own path. Would you consider it to be strong? Would you consider it to be actually fragile? Of course, I want everyone to have the strongest mindset. I'm a believer that mindset is the key to most things in life. And a big thing that I am trying to do in this session for us, help us to build the strongest and most powerful mindset possible so that we can overcome every type of barrier and obstacle that we have in health and experience the greatest amount of health and flourishing that we can. So it's easy to say, and I think it's a good thing also to say, we want to be strong and we see the strength that we have, but I'm going to challenge you today and say, you know what? There is also strength in weakness. Sometimes the path forward in health might be to actually see the weakness in our state and embrace it. This is going to be the deep thought of the day. I invite you to dive in with me, do some thinking on it. So, yes, we want the strongest mindset, but is strength always what we think it is? This is something. So consider some further thoughts. Is being healthy in the modern world something that's easy to do, or is it something that's difficult? Excuse me. Is it easy or difficult? Are the general forces of the world aligned with our health path, or are they arrayed against it? When we start thinking of it this way, we see, oh, there is a real challenge. It's a real challenge just drinking my coffee this morning. If the forces of the world are generally aligned against our health, do you feel that way? Sometimes, at least, it can feel that way. Certainly in these critical moments in our day, when we're trying to take powerful steps forward and we're confronted with marketing, with tempting treats and tempting situations like being able to just sit down and watch something instead of doing the exercise we agreed that we were going to do, have a snack instead of the fasting space we wanted, head out to eat instead of putting the work into making our own nutritious meal. These are the types of forces that I'm saying often are aligned against our path. And so when we start laying all of these things out and we consider our health path, then we start to see, easy to wander off, right? Is it easy to stay on the path, or is it easy to wander off? And so we start to see, what is the thing that can keep us on a path and not heading off somewhere? You know, think about it. Have you been in a really healthy place at some point in the past, but then left it? I think I've told the story on the channel before. Maybe not. I was telling someone the other day, I had this thought, you know, when I was, I think 17, 18 maybe, like just peak adolescent hubris, and you know, I was in great shape. I was running track. I was pretty fast, and I remember having this thought. I went on the weekend. I did an extra track workout. I was just racing around the track. And, you know, I just felt so good. And I was thinking, like, why do people ever get out of shape, you know? I was like, I'm always going to be in the best shape of my life. Like, why wouldn't you be? Oh, man. So life is a challenge. Life can be difficult for sure, right? We get into a healthy place, we have a place, and then we can get out of it. The thing that can keep us in there and the thing that can bring us back is the mindset. And so when we have the mindset to do it, when we are thoughtful and practicing awareness, this is the sort of thing that can keep us on our path in the direction that we are trying to go, and that is the sort of thing that can bring us back. And when we see it this way, we can see that, in fact, it is difficult, and the mindset to do it can be easily influenced. And so this is what I put on the cover photo for our session, strong or fragile. And I really want to embrace today this thought about fragility, and to think about the pinnacle mindset that we can have, the health space where we are totally dialed in. We want it to be very strong, right? But then we can see that it is actually fragile. It can be so easy. We can be so easy for us to push off course. So easy to make a different decision. Say we think, oh, we're in a health space, we got this, then all of a sudden we weren't. And how did we get over here again? And when we have a mindset, maybe even just for a little while, maybe to take a moment and pause and say, I see that there is fragility, because of course, isn't what we want anti-fragility. We want things that are strong and powerful and resilient. And we see the reality of the human body and the human mind, so easy to push around. And so when we start to recognize, that can allow us to start to take actions based off that. Do you see that a mindset that is completely centered and grounded and present and focused, that has conviction? There's the word I was really looking for, conviction. Do you see that that is both extremely valuable and also difficult to find, and then even more difficult to maintain? Wouldn't you say? I'm just thinking of my own self. Isn't that space completely dialed in a fragile space? Doesn't that mean that we need to protect it? That it takes work to maintain that? And so I was thinking of it, okay, if you like a word that is different than fragile, how about delicate? That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking like a flower, like maybe a precious, rare orchid, something that is both beautiful and can easily be damaged and needs the right environment. Like you got to be watering it. You got to get it the right amount of sun. It can't get too hot or too cold. It's like we have to create the environment for this thing to flourish. And isn't that the space? It can get blown over by the wind. We're going to shelter it, you know? It's like stuff like this. Thinking that we are just strong, thinking we've got this. Okay, there's a place for that. But then seeing the other side of it, realizing the other side. Good morning, welcome. Marie says, my biggest mindset change has been to stop starting over. No more restarting the first of the month or after a special occasion. The lifestyle, not something with an end goal where I'll stop. Hey, that is beautiful. I really love that. This is the way, I say. A lifestyle over like just a thing that I'm doing. And this is the sort of way that can build a powerful mindset. When we recognize, okay, we are creating a way of being here. This isn't just something that we're doing. It's not just a one-off. We are really like taking this idea, what I see as like an envelope, you know? It's like the stream is flowing this way, and we are trying to create this little bubble of a mindset for ourselves that can push forward through it. And that takes all these words I've used: grounding, presence, conviction, all the mindsets of the thinking that we've brought in, making these things a part of ourselves, so that they can flow with us in a way that is actually strong. Listen to how author Brianna Weist connects some of this thinking in this section from The Mountain Is You, called Be Aware of Your Weakness. Powerful people, she says, and don't we want to be powerful in our own way? Maybe not powerful as in controlling people, but how about just controlling ourselves, right? Powerfully controlling our path toward better health, our goal that we want, okay? Powerful people are not delusional. They do not believe they are perfect all the time at everything. This is not what makes them mentally strong. Instead, powerful people are very aware of their varying strengths and weaknesses. Very easy for us to just focus on our strength, and we want to do that. We want to lean into our strengths, but everything in balance. We need to understand our weakness also. In business, powerful people will often outsource the tasks at which they are less skilled. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could just outsource our health decisions where we're not skilled? Someone could exercise for you, you know, get a personal assistant. It's like, tell them, get on the bike, you know. In life, powerful people know where their limits are and where their triggers might be. This allows them to move through their lives with more ease and give themselves the time and the space needed to work on the faults. Like we are saying today, find the fragility, see the spaces where things going to knock us off course, where we are not dialed in, where we have failed in the past, and do the work. Give ourselves every advantage. We did this session in the fall. Empower yourself. That's like this. We can't hire someone to work out for us, but we can put systems and personal policies in place to give ourselves every advantage to do it. The ability to say to yourself, I know I struggle a lot with this, and so I am going to take my time and work on it, is one of the most powerful things you can do. So I loved this. Find the weakness, right? Don't always look to the strength. Look at the weakness. Recognize the potential of it and do everything that we can to shore up that place is a really, really powerful thing to do. Recognize that when we stop overlooking it, maybe one of the weaknesses is just never recognizing the weaknesses, right? When we can, especially a journal can help with this, when you can have the history written out. Here are the things that I have struggled with. Here is what we've been working on. Here are the challenges in my life. It helps you to stop overlooking it. And if you've been through cycles, many times in health, we can go through cycles. Have you seen this? It's like we ride a wave up, things are going well, then life happens and we find ourselves back here. This is the time, it's like, okay, no, we got to cycle back. A big process that we're trying to do in this whole experience, for me at least, how do we develop daily practices and routines to try to center this process so that the whole thing can become more of a line, take out so much of this cycle and bring it into just more of a stable flow. Life might be throwing this at us, okay? Sometimes it just seems like life is an experience, just one after the other. Do you ever feel like that? It's like we solve one problem and the next one comes. Okay, but in the midst of these things, do the actual practices that are stepping us forward in health, giving the gift to the body of some space to reset from eating and constant consumption. That's the fasting space. Let it run the autophagy protocols, the DNA repair systems, clear out the junk, keep the metabolism humming. All right, putting in the healthiest food that is actually giving us the energy and the nutrients we need to confront the cycles of life in the best way possible, moving the body in healthy ways that help it to be strong. Practicing the mindfulness and breathing pathways that are connecting mind and body through this parasympathetic flow, helping everything to be grounded. That these are the practices that we lean into every day that help us to flow through these cycles, and seeing that so many of these cycles have pushed us off in the past, and that we can lean in to learn from these things, that even the times where we have quote unquote failed can actually become the powerful pieces of learning that propel us through the next cycle. Really, in health, I say a lot of times people have said that to me. I say, oh, I have tried this and I have failed, tried and failed. What we want to see, mountain is you thinking, obstacle is the way, going to get into that every obstacle we have faced, every time we have tried something and we have not succeeded in the way that we thought, what we've really done is we have learned and we have added another step on our path to overcome it. And so here we are in a space trying to completely dial in and center our mindset in a very thoughtful way, seeing the strength in the weakness as the thing that can actually help us to move forward. How are those thoughts settling with you today? Love to hear your thinking. And how is the challenge going for you? We're just starting out, a 30-day kicking off the summer challenge. What is that looking like for you? If you are coming on a replay later, hey, anytime in the future, make it your own personal challenge at this point. Take a month, dial in on health. Look at the couple sessions we did just before this, dialing in on how exercise can help us flow into a fasting space, get control of our hunger. This was a huge takeaway for me in this week, is just realizing how synergistic these practices are, that our fasting space can make it easier to exercise in many different ways, that exercising, in fact, can help change the hormonal state in the body into a space that is much more favorable for being able to practice fasting in a comfortable way. It's a great irony. Our society teaches, and I think so much of it, at least in my mind, boils down to these Snickers commercials that I saw once. Did you see them? Where it's like, you haven't eaten in a while and people like morph into a ferocious, hangry beast. And, you know, that to me perfectly exemplifies the modern zeitgeist of nutrition, that a human being is actually fragile in the metabolism, and that if we don't have energy flowing in all the time for every activity we need, that we're going to basically disintegrate. And here, just take my candy bar and eat it, and your life is going to be better, and you're going to be calm and centered. This is what it is in those commercials. The more I'm thinking about it, person turns in basically to a werewolf and is upset, but they eat a candy bar of all things, and then they're peaceful and calm and everything is okay again. And how unstable is that? How fragile is that actually? Like, isn't the opposite actually true? Like, you eat a Snicker bar or any sort of candy bar and you say, oh, it's sweet, it tastes good, I enjoyed it, I had a pleasurable experience. But like, doesn't it just throw off the metabolism? And don't you then, you'd feel like, oh man, oh. It's really the inversion of what they are selling. In fact, a human being is incredibly strong, and especially as we train ourselves to do it, this is what the challenge is. I say lean in. We're trying to thoughtfully and gently lean in to all of the health processes that we are discussing about, so that we can build our strength, so that we can see fragility that we have and move against it and do everything that we can to become the strongest and healthiest version of ourselves that we can be. And summer is the time to do it. I say that's where we kicked off that series. Seems like a while ago, but it wasn't even Monday. I started on Tuesday for whatever reason. And that summer, though, is like the wind at our backs. Summer is weight loss season. Summer, if you are coming back to the replay in winter, okay, just looking toward the light, that summer. Winter to me is like hunker down, survival mode. We're getting through it. And then here, summer, the complete inversion. It's bright, it's sunny, it's warm, and so many things working in our favor. So we want to lean into it. I found us a tiny centering quote to inspire our summer thinking. From Jennifer Williamson. I don't know Jennifer Williamson. The feeling state of summertime is a sweet serendipity, finding something beautiful without striving or struggling to find it. Isn't that a beautiful quote? Just love that. This is my hope for all of us. It's my hope for you that this summer, maybe the challenge can be part of it as we're leaning into the strength of the body, as we're leaning into every good natural thing that comes in health. Good food and fasting space and exercise and our beautiful mindfulness processes flowing together. I hope that in one of these areas that you trip into a space that feels like that quote, a serendipity. Something beautiful that just feels like a pleasant surprise and is just a total blessing on your path toward health this summer, here in this moment. And something also, pleasant and also a little exciting. That would be my hope. I hope to bring some good energy to it and that you're finding a really beautiful space with it. I was sitting out. We had a little later dinner last night. And, the golden hour is like right before the sun is setting. And it was such a beautiful evening here in Madison. And just sitting in this beautiful golden light of summer and a pleasant breeze. And, to me, that is like this quote. The feeling state of summertime. I got to just think more about it because that was last night to me. Feeling just the sun, and it's like this beautiful mix of warm and cool. Yeah, that's how it was. I wasn't looking for this beautiful evening, but it found me in the summer. Wasn't striving for it. No struggle. Just happened. This is what I want a health space to feel like. We say, what does a fasting space feel like? Been doing some thinking, in this series over the last couple days. Okay, how do we feel? I did that interesting thought in one of these sessions over the last 2 days where you can feeling energy flowing through the body, right? If you have been fasting and then you're trying to exercise and you're really feeling the energy coming down, say, oh, I'm not kind of reaching my edge, and you're drinking orange juice, that can you actually, it's easy to feel when it's cold. You can feel it flow down into the stomach, okay? But can you follow it, and can you actually feel, because the body's pulling that energy in, your blood sugar level is going to be coming up. Can you feel that and feel the energy in that space? And then as you start to be able to feel that, then you can start to feel the rest of the energy experience in the body. Feel when the energy is actually coming from other places, and just to understand it. And I think, how does a mind-body really work? I think if we're trying to unlock energy in our body, I think it can be some really profound benefit to really try to get our mind down into the body, and feel these things, help to really understand it on a tangible and deep level. And then the whole broader thing that I've been trying to do in this summertime series so far, say summertime, a time for weight loss, is actually the feeling of it. You know, so much of what makes summer an easier time to lose weight is the feel of it, you know? We're not cold, or at least up here in the north, you know? It's like it's warmer, and that this has real effects on the body. And it's lighter and brighter, and the mood is positive, and all of these things are creating the feeling, you know, that helps us to flow through it in an easier fashion. This is what I want everything to be for people. So much of people's experience in health is like struggling for it, and I really want, as much as possible, people to find a flow state. And sitting there last night in the summer evening sun, I was like, that felt like a flow state. And this is what fasting should feel like. Right here, I'm telling you a story about after dinner. You find a beautiful space, any space, but a space like that too in a fasting space. That's what I want fasting to feel like. Not struggling through it, but being encouraged by it and supported by it. And just feeling the gift that it is to the body. And so there can be an edge between like a beautiful, say, visionary state like that. You know, have you experienced that? I hope so, but like not every time is like that. And then there's an edge between it, like, yes, where there can be struggle and difficulty. And then there's a space where it's like you're overclocking, like the fasting muscle at that point. And I tell people to stay away from that. Like, nothing ever forced. Okay to find an edge and to try to push the edge. That's why I say lean in for our process here. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind with yourself. Nothing forced. Like Marie's comment. We are talking about a lifestyle. This is how something becomes sustainable in the long term. Not just something that we start and stop. Just realize, okay, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Perfection not required. Being on a fasting path, like a fasting-based weight loss or health path, doesn't mean it has to be the same thing every day. People get trapped into dogmatic thinking with fasting, where they say, oh, I'm a person who does 16-8, means it has to be that way every day. No. Or people dial it up and they've realized, oh, I can practice OMAD. I can do that. I can eat once in a day. And I've had people go through, very long seasons eating one meal a day for even years and have it be an incredible benefit to them. But you're never trapped in it. Just because you turned up to a certain level doesn't mean it can't turn down again. My general practice for something like, 5 days out of 7 is pretty good, And for a lot of people, that looks like dialing in during a work week. We did the big session here recently, fasting at work, and a lot of thinking how to do that. And of course, even with that, never trapped in it. For a certain person, say, not fasting at work better. So everything very flexible. Dial in and out of these processes at your discretion. And that is really the lifestyle, the fasting lifestyle to me, very flexible. My own personal practice, very flexible. A lot of times I'll just eat twice in a day, but sometimes I might eat 3, and sometimes I might eat 1, and every once in a while I might eat 0, just to really dial in on it. But most of the time I go 2, and then I go back and forth. And I do find my own experience, when I stay really dialed in on the same pattern, I can really feel that hormonal structure lining up with that, and then it is easier to stay in a groove with that. And then when I get out of it, then it's like, oh, I got to rebuild that and shift back into that. And so the real benefit of staying in a groove is just to not have to go through the shifts. That's one of them. So you stay dialed in. But that doesn't always fit with life, It's like, we got a holiday, we got friends coming in, we want to change our eating routine for a while. That's part of the lifestyle. And so here, we just lean into that. And wherever you're at, if you are in the day to do it, if it's a party day, you say, I'm not leaning in today, total grace on that. That's part of the process. This is how we make things sustainable and how we do what Marie says, where it's not like, oh, I'm starting and stopping. We're like, this is just the way. This is part of what I do. This is why we have the routines that we do. So we got some margin in our process, so that when life is happening, this is what I'm saying, what I was saying before, that so much of life cycles, and we're trying to create a process that is evening that out. And maybe our cycle is more just kind of like this, like gentle waves in a calm breeze. I am leaning in on the exercise side of the path. When I am shutting down our stream here, I am packing up the car. I am getting out of town early today, and we are heading up to Door County, Wisconsin. Going to be riding a 100-mile bike ride tomorrow across Door County. It's like the county, I don't know, is something like 50 miles. So we go up one side of the county and down the other, and I am looking so much forward to it. I can't even tell you. I love doing this. Spend the day out on the bike and doing a ride like this in such a beautiful place. And they've got, it's like every 9 miles, they've got like a tent with people to support you, water and sports drinks. I might even hit a sports drink, I'll tell you by the end, it'll help. So, we did the session this week talking about sports drinks. We looked at the systematic review saying most of the time, if you're exercising less than an hour, they're not doing very much for you. They are just getting in the way, as far as I can see, of being able to lose weight. If you're someone you're trying to exercise to lose weight, okay, jamming a bunch of sugar into your body, not going to help with that. I am not trying to lose weight on this bike ride. I am just trying to propel my human body 100 miles around the world, and I'll probably take some extra help with that. Really nice to share this space, this thinking with you today. Thank you for being here with me this week, and whenever you're here on the channel, get in touch. I love having a chat. Throw questions and thoughts into the comments. Love to hear your reflection on this. How is your mindset doing? Is it strong, or is it fragile, or is it both in some beautiful fashion? And we recognize that both of these things can be true. And we embrace the strength, and we shore up the weakness, and we move forward in the most powerful direction that we can. Grace and compassion for ourselves, and inspiration, looking toward the mountain that we're climbing, better health and flourishing into the future. We'll talk with you again soon. Have a great day, everybody.